Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. Let me welcome you once again to another edition of Satire Sunday. Today's topic is energy, or more specifically, the gas supply of Germany. As you might remember, the global American empire just ordered Germany to cut its economic ties to Russia, to impose also these heavy sanctions, and also that means that we're not getting any gas anymore from them probably. And that is not because Russia decided to use gas as some kind of economic weapon. No, we did that, as we were told to do that, of course. That was not our decision, that was a direct order from Washington, of course. So now everybody in Germany is freaking out. I mean, now it is about to become spring, but what happens in autumn and winter 2022? What happens when it gets colder again and we don't have any gas and our houses and apartments stay cold? Now that cannot happen, so we are feverishly looking for new gas suppliers. And of course, the key man on this quest is our Secretary for the Economy, Mr. Habeck from the Green Party. Yeah, that very same party that thinks that CO2 is bad in the atmosphere and at the same time nuclear power must be discontinued and also coal must be discontinued and oil and gas and everything should be powered by wind and solar and so on. Yeah, that very man from that very party is now the guy who is jetting around the globe in order to find new gas suppliers for us. As you know, it is all about gas, gas, gas. So the poor people of Germany thought that all hope is lost, but then yesterday finally a message of hope. We have found a new gas supplier. Mr. Habeck struck a deal with the Emir of Qatar. They decided that there should be a long-term energy partnership between the Federal Republic of Germany and Qatar. Of course, we will now hastily construct the LNG terminals in Germany, build all the necessary infrastructure, and then the Qataris will supply us with LNG. In Mr. Habeck's entourage, there were many representatives of the German energy business and the elites of the energy sector in Germany. But Mr. Habeck also said that we will not just exchange one dependence for another. No, now we will have many energy partnerships. We will have energy from the US, we will have energy from Qatar, so many different energy sources, right? So Germans can finally be content and happy that we have found a distributor, we have found a supplier with natural gas that really doesn't commit any crimes, that has a absolutely clean and spotless track record when it comes to human rights and no war crimes whatsoever. They're not funding any shady or criminal or extremist groups, no. And the best thing is they are also a satellite state of the global American empire, which makes them something like cousins to us. Isn't that great? So it actually stays within the family and doesn't go to evil Ivan, that is the German taxpayers' money, of course, because that is the resource that Germany is rich in. But if you still have any doubts and you think that the Qataris and the Germans are not really cousins or not really kindred spirits and brothers and sisters, then let me tell you this. Both of our countries have gigantic US air bases and we both buy US fighter planes and weapon systems. So doesn't that basically make us the same people? I mean, look past the different shape of our noses. That is not what counts. That is just superficial stuff. When it comes to the core, to the essence, we are pretty much the same. We are sock puppets. And that's why it only makes sense that we are getting our energy from Qatar. But if that is not enough yet for some woke German tree huggers and moral busybodies, then the newspaper Die Welt, or rather their online version, in an article, they wrote that Mr. Habeck even talked about the issue of human rights with the Emir of Qatar. Ha! Consider yourself owned, libtard. start. And the Qataris said that they know themselves that they still have some work to do in that area. Isn't that amazing? I mean, come on. How can you now disagree with this deal? Isn't it just perfect? I mean, he talked about human rights and they said, yes, we know we have some work ahead of us. I mean, come on. That's basically a done deal right there. I really have to apologize if I'm getting a little bit emotional today, but just yesterday when I made that stupid video yesterday, I thought that we live in a dark, grim world, but now today on this Sunday, I mean, I feel it's almost Easter, and I think it's almost like the Lord has risen from the dead. I am really overwhelmed with emotion. I mean, just like that, Mr. Habeck from the Green Party shows the world that there is a better way, and it was in front of our very noses for all this time. Just go to Qatar, problem solved. The article even tells us that Qatar was the first Arab country to introduce a minimum wage. I mean, how can you disagree to this strategic partnership now? And yesterday I was still thinking about that very topic and I thought, where should we get our gas from now? Venezuela? Well, the gay doesn't allow that. Well, Iran maybe? The gay also doesn't allow that. But, well, Mr. Habeck, he came up with the solution. He is the man of the hour. He is the savior of Germany. Because of our European values, we cannot possibly continue to do business with the Russians. No, our European values really leave us no other chance than to give our money to the Qataris, who then can pass it on to their overlords as well, and they can have beautiful airplanes in the region, and they can have magnificent airfields, and they can go on so many peacekeeping missions, and humanitarian aid can really flow into the Middle East. And I'm sure that all this peace energy, all this love will, do its work in the region, and probably not in one particular country that mysteriously so far has not been a target of all the shady groups that the US is funding with Qatar together, of course. Yeah, but I'm sure that's just a coincidence or some kind of divine intervention probably. And if you haven't laughed enough already, then let me tell you one last joke that can be read in the article that I linked in the description, and that is that Mr. Habeck, he said that, whoa, we didn't talk about weapons deals here. Qatar will not get any more weapons from Germany, not based on this deal at least. Weapons deals were not on the table, and that is an excellent joke. I love Mr. Habeck's sense of humor. Because, when we are now buying US weapon systems and the Qataris are buying US weapon systems, of course, why would there be any kinds of weapons deals on the table in exchange for LNG? Mr. Habeck is a very smart guy, very funny guy, and in this statement, he really proved it once again that he is not only a great statesman, but also a top entertainer. So I am already looking forward to the Football World Cup that will of course be in Qatar this year, of course. I will definitely watch every single game, but for the time being I have to excuse myself because I have to dance naked in the streets throwing rose petals right now. All this guilt from buying Russian gas is finally falling off, and I see that I am without guilt now. I am pure, innocent, and a better world for everybody is possible when you do business with Qatar under the umbrella of the gay. A big thank you to all my supporters and my subscribers. Check me out on other social media platforms as well. Links are down in the description below. And if you want to support my work, you can do so via Patreon or Subscribestar. This was of course all satire because we all know that our leaders would have to be complete maniacs and pure evil if they actually did something such as this. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Servus, Kameraden.